Well, I met him, and I just want to say he seems like one of the coolest people on earth.
A lot of it's my real-life clothes, or my husband's clothes, or my girlfriend Gigi's clothes. I was borrowing some.
Wait, that's kind of amazing.
It's based on a beautiful, really important book, and it's about a young woman named Lily who confronts the generational cycles in her life and breaks them and ends the circle.
There's something shifting in Taylor Swift's inner circle, and it looks like Blake Lively might be right at the center of it all. If you've been following the news, you've probably noticed that Taylor and Blake's friendship, which once seemed like the epitome of a Hollywood dream team, has suddenly started to take a back seat. And now people are starting to ask, why? Well, according to sources close to the situation, Taylor has begun to feel like she's being taken advantage of, and she's now quietly distancing herself from Blake. You might be thinking, hold up, didn't they just hang out a few months ago? And you're not wrong. But here's where things start to get a little juicy. Taylor has always been known for her fierce loyalty to the people she considers close friends. But when she starts sensing that someone's only sticking around for personal gain, that's when things start to change. And the evidence is starting to point to exactly that. People close to the situation say Taylor's been feeling like Blake has been using her to boost her own profile. And that's something Taylor simply won't tolerate. Blake and Taylor's friendship has always been one of those rare, high-profile, almost envy-inducing relationships that fans couldn't get enough of. But recently, Taylor's been pulling back. Some insiders suggest that Taylor is beginning to realize that Blake might have been leaning on her name a little too much. Whether it was to gain more clout, improve her public image, or maybe even distract from some of the messier situations Blake has found herself in recently. According to a source close to the situation, Taylor started to notice a troubling pattern. Every time Blake found herself embroiled in some major drama, their friendship would somehow be thrust into the spotlight. There would be public outings, social media shoutouts, and all these were besties moments. Looking back, it's almost like they were too strategically timed. And here's the thing. Taylor isn't someone who likes being used as a pawn in someone else's game. She sees through that kind of stuff. But wait, there's more. One of the biggest things people are talking about is how Taylor started to see what was going down with Blake and Justin Baldoni. If you've been following the story, you'll know it's been an absolute circus. Blake's name has been swirling around in some pretty major controversies, and get this, every time the heat got turned up, somehow, someway, Taylor's name would pop up right alongside hers, almost like a distraction. Now, people are starting to wonder, was this all part of Blake's plan to deflect the spotlight? And here's where things really get spicy. Fans have been noticing how Taylor has slowly, but surely started distancing herself from Blake. Remember when they used to flood each other's social media with posts, showing off their BFF bond? Well, when's the last time you saw that? Lately, Taylor's been spending more and more time with her other close friends, like Sophie Turner and Selena Gomez. Is this all just a coincidence? Or is it something more? It's hard to ignore the signs, and fans are starting to put the pieces together. Hold up. Before we dive into this chaotic whirlpool of friendship drama, scandalous crushes, and potentially jealous besties, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to keep this channel thriving. Seriously, your clicks are what keep this thing alive.
I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me.
I'm honored, and I'm also more honored that because, what we're talking about is so important and so meaningful.
Now, let's take a quick moment to talk about Taylor's reputation. We all know she's a master when it comes to controlling her public image. She doesn't just let anyone into her inner circle, and when she does, you better believe she makes sure they're rock solid. So, if she's pulling back from Blake, people are starting to say it's for a reason. Taylor's got an empire to protect, and she's not about to let the wrong person jeopardize that. An expert who understands the ins and outs of celebrity friendships hinted that these shifts don't always come with drama, but they're always intentional. Taylor isn't one to make a scene, but when she makes a move, the world takes notice. And right now, she's definitely moving away from Blake. Now, let's talk about Blake's collaboration with Justin Baldoni for a second. At first, it looked like the perfect partnership. Two big names coming together for a film fans couldn't wait to see. But, things quickly hit a bump. Lively, known for her sharp comedic timing and high-fashion roles, found herself clashing with Baldoni, who is all about creating deep, heartfelt stories. What was supposed to be a dream collaboration turned into a complete nightmare. Lively was supposed to be the star of the show, but rumors started swirling that her husband, Ryan Reynolds, had been influencing the project with his comedic suggestions. Meanwhile, Baldoni was determined to stick to the novel's emotional core, focusing on themes like personal growth and authentic connections. For a while, though, it looked like everything was going smoothly. Both Lively and Baldoni were praising each other in interviews, and fans were beyond excited, convinced the movie would deliver the perfect mix of humor, romance, and emotional depth. But behind the scenes, tension was brewing. Lively and her team pushed for a more modern, glamorous take, turning up the humor and adding in high-fashion moments. Baldoni, on the other hand, was worried that all the glam would water down the book's raw emotional power. The divide grew wider, and both sides felt completely ignored and frustrated. Then came the bombshell. Blake Lively took it to court, claiming she was being pushed to the sidelines. Baldoni didn't just sit there. He fired back with receipts. Texts, production notes, and meeting logs showed that Lively wasn't just participating in creative decisions. She was actually leading the charge when it came to the style and humor of the film. And then came the shocker, a $400 million defamation lawsuit. The amount of money at stake made it clear. This wasn't just some run-of-the-mill Hollywood tiff. Fans and insiders were left scrambling, unsure who to trust, especially after whispers started circulating that Blake might have, twisted the truth a bit under oath. And then enter Taylor Swift. At first, no one really knew where she stood in all of this. She and Blake Lively had been close for years, constantly showing each other love on social media, and even collaborating on creative projects. But when rumors started swirling that Taylor, or someone close to her, had been involved in the film's comedic dialogue or had influenced key creative decisions, things took a dramatic turn. And then, a game changer. Whispers started circulating that Taylor might have seen private conversations that directly contradicted Lively's version of events. Some insiders claimed that Taylor was feeling uneasy about the lawsuit, realizing that what was being said publicly didn't quite align with what she had actually witnessed herself. After thinking it over, sources say Taylor finally decided to step in, armed with messages, transcripts, and personal recollections that completely challenged Lively's claims. And just like that, the whole narrative shifted. With Taylor, one of the most powerful and influential figures on the planet, questioning Lively's story, the public started to rethink everything. If even a close friend was willing to challenge her version, how solid could this lawsuit actually be? Insiders say Taylor's involvement was strategic and calculated. While she hasn't outright condemned Lively, one thing is crystal clear. She wasn't about to let false information spread unchecked. A source close to Taylor revealed that, initially, her role in the project was lighthearted and casual, just throwing around ideas, sharing funny anecdotes, and chatting about ways to modernize the novel. According to this insider, Lively was all in when Taylor pitched a funny line or a clever scene. There was never any hesitation or discomfort, which totally contradicts Lively's later claims that she was blindsided by changes to the comedy that she supposedly never approved. And here's the kicker. Taylor reportedly has voice memos and text messages showing Lively's genuine excitement over these playful additions. If true, that could be the kind of evidence that turns Lively's courtroom narrative on its head, proving the comedic changes weren't forced on her. Fans who have admired the Lively-Swift friendship for years are now divided. Some fear that Taylor stepping forward with these contradictions could completely shatter this beloved Hollywood friendship. Others believe that Taylor is simply standing up for the truth, hoping her honesty can clear the air before this mess gets even worse. Either way, Swift Speaks Out is trending like crazy, sparking heated debates on social media about what true loyalty really means. Should you back your friends no matter what? Or is loyalty to the truth, and to collaborators like Baldoni, more important, even if it means calling out someone close to you? Meanwhile, Baldoni isn't wasting any time. He's made it clear that his legal team welcomes any and all clarifications from individuals who possess relevant information. While he hasn't specifically named Taylor, both insiders and fans are interpreting it as an open invitation for her to officially provide any records she has. From Baldoni's perspective, if Taylor's texts or voice memos show that Lively was actually on board with the comedic tweaks and the luxe wardrobe choices from the start, it would only strengthen his case that she misrepresented her role in the creative changes. Lively's team, however, is standing firm. They maintain there was no deception on her part, arguing that Taylor only had limited insight into certain moments of the creative process. They're quick to point out that a handful of text messages about jokes or fashion choices don't tell the entire story of how the script evolved. Film production is a fluid beast. What starts as a casual suggestion can quickly escalate into something much bigger, especially when more comedic bits, cameos, and extravagant costumes are added. From their perspective, this lawsuit isn't about rejecting humor. It's about how Lively's broader creative vision got sidelined as the project started to snowball. Now, the big question is whether Taylor's revelations actually prove that Lively misrepresented the situation, or if they simply highlight how naturally a film's tone can shift as it progresses. Let's face it, most movie productions go through major changes from start to finish. A few texts or meeting notes from the early days might not fully capture how an actor feels months later, after endless rewrites and rising tensions. Plus, Taylor's view might only cover select moments, especially since she wasn't officially part of the creative team. But still, if Lively's lawsuit hinges on the claim that these creative changes were forced onto her, and there's proof she was initially on board, well, that could completely flip the script. The scale of Baldoni's defamation claim is one of the most jaw-dropping elements of this whole mess. He argues that Lively's public statements and legal filings have seriously damaged both his reputation and the film's financial future, which is why he's slapped with a staggering $400 million lawsuit. That's no random figure. It shows just how deeply he feels wronged and how much fallout he believes this controversy has caused. If Taylor's testimony or personal records reveal that Lively was fully aware of the film's creative direction, and even played a major role in shaping it, Baldoni's case becomes way more solid. Courts care about credibility, and if Lively is found to have twisted the truth or left out critical details, her entire argument could crumble. But there's another layer to this. Even if Lively initially embraced the comedic and glamorous direction, she may have later felt overshadowed by Ryan Reynolds' comedic brilliance and Taylor's star power.
He was, after I gave birth, he was like, oh my gosh, if I lost you and I, went to the park with our 3 kids, I mean.
She sort of like pretends to play with her. So like in the beginning, our oldest is like loving on her and she's like very maternal. And then
maybe she started to feel like her original vision for the character was slipping away. This kind of shift, going from excitement to frustration, isn't unusual in the high-pressure world of filmmaking. Some legal experts suggest that changing one's perspective over time is far different from intentionally misleading the court. However, if it turns out that Lively knowingly made false claims under oath, the legal consequences could be nothing short of catastrophic. Taylor Swift's role in this whole mess is especially unique. She wasn't officially credited as a producer or writer, yet her close relationship with Blake Lively gave her an insider's view of the entire process. Whether she was casually suggesting witty dialogue or simply offering her support as a friend, Taylor had a front-row seat to how Lively's perspective evolved throughout production. If Taylor really has messages that prove Lively was once excited about the film's comedic twists and lavish wardrobe choices, that could completely destroy Lively's claim that these elements were forced upon her. And let's not forget, Taylor's meticulous nature and reputation for sticking to her principles only strengthen her credibility. If she can provide irrefutable proof that Lively misled the court, the consequences would be massive. Lively's camp, of course, is in full damage control mode. Sources say there have been frantic late-night strategy meetings between her legal team, crisis PR experts, and possibly even Ryan Reynolds himself. They're reportedly combing through every text, voice memo, and bit of footage to build a timeline that could explain away anything Taylor might reveal. Their likely defense? That a few casual, lighthearted texts about comedy don't erase the deeper, more complex creative struggles that played out over months of production. They may also argue that Taylor's contributions, no matter how well-meaning, were informal and didn't represent the full scope of the film's development. Now the big question, will Taylor take the stand, or will she quietly provide her evidence behind the scenes? Some believe she'll submit a written statement to avoid being cross-examined in court. Others speculate that, given the high-profile nature of this case, Taylor may decide to step into the spotlight, especially if she feels the need to set the record straight. One thing is for sure, she knows the power her words carry. A single social media post or public statement from Taylor could flip the entire narrative in an instant. Meanwhile, time is ticking for the film itself. The longer this legal battle drags on, the more investors and studios will start seeing the project as a lost cause. Even the biggest stars struggle to carry a film when it's overshadowed by scandal. If the public becomes more captivated by the drama behind the scenes than the actual movie, its box office potential could take a nosedive. And even if a settlement is reached, the damage could persist, making it nearly impossible to promote the film without reopening old wounds. Taylor's involvement in all of this has become a test of loyalty versus truth. Some corners of social media have even dubbed her the moral compass of the entire controversy. Fans are wondering if Lively confided in Taylor about feeling overlooked to such an extent that now Taylor is stuck between backing her friend and grappling with the discomfort of watching false claims take hold. If Taylor believes the lawsuit lacks substance, stepping forward could be an act of integrity. But if she's only seeing pieces of the bigger picture, her decision to speak out could add yet another layer of chaos to an already out-of-control situation. No matter how this all plays out, the entertainment world is holding its breath. This isn't just another celebrity spat. Lively, Baldoni, Reynolds, and Swift are household names with massive power and influence. The thought that text messages or videos could surface to challenge Lively's sworn statements has fans buzzing with excitement and fear over what this could mean for her career. On the flip side, if Taylor's evidence only highlights minor inconsistencies rather than outright lies, Baldoni's defamation case could lose its punch. What's next? Depositions, cross-examinations, and more juicy evidence could reveal whether Lively's stance was firm all along, or if things started shifting behind closed doors. What began as a simple creative clash between a lead actress and a director has transformed into a cautionary tale about the dangers of half-truths in a world where everything is documented. Every text, voice memo, and offhand comment now has the potential to either confirm or contradict someone's version of events. Taylor's rumored collection of screenshots and voice recordings could become a game-changer, revealing the truth behind the scenes, or they could backfire, depending on which side the public believes deserves to come out on top. If there's any silver lining in all this chaos, it's that fans of the original novel still might get to see a film that truly captures its essence. Maybe if all the parties find common ground, or if a legal settlement can get them all to agree, production could proceed without the scandalous drama clouding everything. Audiences are still hoping for a movie that blends raw emotion with just the right amount of charm to win over a wide audience. But whether that happens depends entirely on how this lawsuit unfolds, and how Taylor's revelations shape the narrative. Taylor's decision to step into this firestorm has sent shockwaves through an already tense legal battle. Her willingness to expose inconsistencies or outright fabrications has put Lively's credibility under intense scrutiny. Some insiders believe Taylor wouldn't go this far without rock-solid proof, given how carefully she crafts her public persona. Others suspect she might be getting drawn into Baldoni's orbit, intentionally or not, to give his case the boost it needs. Meanwhile, social media has exploded with the phrase "Swift exposes Lively's fake lawsuit," as fans, pop culture junkies, and legal analysts dissect every rumor, leaked detail, and possible motive. In Hollywood, major disputes like this usually disappear into quiet settlements. But the lingering questions? They don't just vanish. Even if Lively and Baldoni come to some kind of resolution, the public might never get the full story behind those conflicting statements and the sudden shift toward comedy in the project. But with Taylor potentially stepping in to shed light on what really went down, or at least offering her own perspective, this drama isn't disappearing anytime soon. Whether Lively's lawsuit is based on shaky accusations, or if she simply got caught up in a professional conflict that spiraled out of control, the truth is still up for debate. For now, all eyes are on this powerhouse cast. A director with a bold vision, an actress at the center of the storm, a sharp-witted husband, and a global superstar who could hold the key to the whole puzzle. And at the heart of it all, Taylor Swift, whose decision to speak out could change everything in ways no one saw coming.